Welcome to the Brent Gove podcast with co-host Eric Lofholm. We are building 1 million agents in 100 countries in 10 years. Now, here's your host, Brent Gove.
And welcome back to the big show. We're glad you're with us. I'm Brent Gove, and I have my co-host, Mr. Eric Lofholm, in studio today. Eric, how you doing?
Hey, Brent, I am doing fantastic. We've got a great podcast lined up for our listeners. Today, we are talking about the power of positivity. One of my favorite things, the power of that positive mindset, the positive mind. Get us started off with any ideas that you'd like to share.
I love it. Right now, everyone's throwing up. Oh my God, are you serious? Positivity. See, that just shows you how bad you need it. For example, we just had Thanksgiving, and some of you spent time with your not chosen family, but the family you inherited. That means your uncle so-and-so and your aunt so-and-so, maybe your mom, your dad, or your brother, your sister, and maybe they weren't the most positive group. Maybe someone was upset about the turkey because it was dry, or where was the pumpkin pie? There was no pumpkin pie. So let me ask you a question. Do you love hanging out with people who are super cranky, negative? Maybe they're mad about the political, thing or whatever, or the government, or, who are you attracted to? Negative, upset, grumpy people? Or think of the people in your life that you're attracted to. Could it be maybe that they're, dare I say it, positive? They're smiling. They're not frowning. Think of people who frown. And I know there's hard things I'm going to get to, Eric. Ask me about the hard things. But the first thing I want to say, just to put this out there, is a known fact. If you will simply be positive and make positive statements, and like in sports, I'm going to hit the ball. When they're shooting a shot, in the basketball world, there's a famous saying, nothing but net, baby. Elbow in, hand in the hoop. Nothing but net. And if you're thinking, I'm going to totally miss the entire hoop and the backboard, those are not good thoughts. Those are negative thoughts. Same thing in golfing. It's going to go left to right. It's going to go boom, center cup, or like, oh my gosh, I hope I don't 5-putt. And so when you think about these things, but a positive mindset, 35% more productivity. That means 35% sales just because you're a positive person. Now, here's the freaky part. That's not the freaky part. The freaky part is if you're super, super positive, I don't mean disgusting Pollyanna, but I mean you are flat going to find the silver lining and whatever crummy thing, like your car broke down. Great. You're going to meet a tow truck driver who probably needs to buy a house, or maybe he needs to sell a house. Like, I'm going to take this tow truck driver and I'm going to show him how he can buy a house with nothing down, get him 100% financing, sell it to place close to us, and make his dreams come true. See, you ever think God has you on assignment? Instead of just being mad that you got a flat tire, that your car wouldn't start, it broke down. So I'm telling you right now, 85% more productive if you're super, super positive. So there's a positive mindset, 35%. But if you like it, man, you're like, oh no, baby, not for me. When I show property, people write offers. So when I go on listing appointments, I get it. Like, that's not true. Okay, be like your teenage son or daughter. Dad, no boys love me. I'll probably never be happy. And of course, you say to her, that's right. You're going to be alone your whole life. You'll never meet anybody. And then you die. I don't think that's how you talk. You say, no, sweetheart. The right one's out there for you. Same with your son, the right one. Or I don't have any friends. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know what? You don't go looking for friends. You just be a friend. If you'll just be a friend, help out, love, serve, give, you'll find friends everywhere. But when you're looking for love, right? When you're looking for a friend, when you're just you're forcing it. But when you just be loving and be friendly, you will find both love and friends. And so I want to say this, 35% is good, but I think 85% is way better. And I've definitely been accused of being on the positive side of things. But I've met agents, Eric, who say, yeah, I'm going to show property this weekend, probably go out with them for 4 or 5 hours, and I'll probably show them for months. They'll probably end up buying new construction in half a year. I'll never get paid anything. Well, I think we can all agree that is not a positive mindset. Like, well, if doesn't mean I'm going to get it just because I'm going to go. It's better than like, I'm going to miss. I mean, we tell our kids, swing the bat, keep your eye on the ball. You're going to get it. Keep working at it. You'll get it. You'll figure it out. And so people like I use I'm going to give it back to you, Eric, for some discussion on what I've said. I know I'm chumming the water out here. I can't fish. I'm a terrible fisherman. What if you and I went fly fishing or lure fishing in the Sierra Nevada or the Rocky Mountains every day, the Smoky Mountains every day for 30 days? Let me tell you what. You would go from terrible to okay, or maybe from okay to pretty good, or from pretty good to expert, like literally in 30 days. You just got to do it every day. I know you're not maybe great at listing appointments now. I used to lose them every single time. It would drive me crazy. And so I would show a property. I didn't know how to get them to make them to write an offer. How do I get them to write a good offer? How do you do this? But man, progress over perfection, and time over time, you improve incrementally, and all of a sudden you're nailing it. But you need to fail in that short period of time. But again, the power of a positive mindset. This is not a long one today, but I really want you to make a conscious effort to be positive. It's like a muscle. It's like a muscle. You got to work at it. You got to exercise the muscle because you're like, I'm positive. I'm positive. Are you? If you have to tell me you're positive, you're not positive. No, really, I'm a great person. I'm a wonderful guy. You shouldn't have to tell anybody that. The reason you're telling people that is because you might not be a great person. You might not be a wonderful guy, or gal. And so you really got to think about it. What does my face look like? Do I have a perpetual scowl on my face, or do I walk around smiling? Like people aren't friendly, really. Everywhere I go, people are super friendly. I can absolutely promise you that. Anywhere, Chicago, New York City, well, that's you, Brent. That's you. No, I'm smiling at people. I say, hi, good morning. How are you? I go up to, my name's Brent Gove. I shake their hand. Like, well, that's you. No, it can't be you. But you're so negative. You're so beat back. You're like, I couldn't do that. Yes, you can. Hi, I'm Tom Anderson. Great to meet you, with a smile on your face. Well, that feels awkward. It feels awkward because you don't use that muscle all the time. It feels very comfortable for me, but I did it and did it and did it and did it and did it. And it doesn't have to take 30 years. It could take 30 days. And so, Eric, I know your mind's spinning over there. Go ahead, jump in, help me out here.
I've got all kinds of thoughts here, but one is optimism is a learned skill. And so if you think of optimism as a skill set, it implies we can get better at it. So if all of you are listening right now and go, okay, I can strengthen my optimism muscle. And I want to share with you what Brent's saying inside of a story. And I had a miracle happen. And I might have shared this story with you, Brent, before. It might have been on this podcast.
I want to hear it again.
This story is so relevant because the home that I'm in now, I tied it up as a lease option pre-COVID, and it had a 2-year option. And then COVID hit and all the property value in Placer County went up. So I got a bunch of equity. And I couldn't get a loan through. As an entrepreneur, don't have the best credit, and I couldn't get the loan through. And now the option's due, and there's over $100,000 in equity. And I try to renegotiate with the seller, and he doesn't want to renegotiate because he wants the house because it's got all the equity, right? So I go to a buddy of mine. I got 7 days, Brent, to come up with $540,000 in private money. And there's like no shot because I don't live in the real estate space. I don't have a big Rolodex. I'm a sales trainer. And so I go to my buddy James, and he has a bunch of real estate contacts. I'm like, look, I need $540,000 in 7 days. You got any help for me? And because I had I was positive with him, and we had good relationship. He's like, yeah, I might have somebody. So he refers me to this husband-wife couple that invest in real estate. They're not like looking for a deal, and they're certainly not looking for a deal like with somebody like me that they don't even know me. Anyway, the long story short is I influenced them to put the money up, and it got in like 1 day before the option expired. I was about to get kicked out of my house and lose all this equity. And if I wasn't positive with James and I asked him for help, he would have been like, yeah, I can't think of anybody, right? But I had some goodwill in the bank account with him of positivity. And then just my way of being with these investors, they didn't give me the money because here's what they could have said to me, Brent. They could have said, So you got 7 days or you're going to lose the property, right? I'd be like, yeah, okay. We're not looking for this deal, but give us half the equity and we'll do it with you. And I would have said yes because I had no choice. But they didn't squeeze me like that. They gave me a fair rate. And they connected with me on a personal level. It was just like something about my positivity. And had I not been positive, that wouldn't have happened. So here's my point for all of our listeners. If you're not being positive, you don't know on the deals you're missing out on. You don't know when you reach out to the person, ask for help, and they go, yeah, I can't think of anybody. When they would have helped you had you been positive. And this is in your marriage. This is with your kids, adult kids, is with your teenage kids. This is with your in-laws. This is with your partners. And I want to say one last quick thing. One of my real estate coaching clients one time, she was complaining, Brent, about the lender on the transaction and about the real estate agent on the other side of the transaction. And I'm listening to her complain. And I said, I have an assignment for you. She goes, what's that? I said, I want you to reach out to the lender and the agent on the other side of the transaction and say something nice to them. You can text them a compliment. You can call them. And this woman's like, oh gosh, like I was giving her this big assignment. And I wanted her to have the experience of being positive because she was in such a negative state. And it's like, we want the lender to work with us. We want the agent on the other side of the transaction. We want to be in harmony with them. And so Brent and I encourage all of you, be positive, and it will put money in your bank account. You'll get more deals. There's deals that you're missing out on that you don't even know you're missing out on them. And, in real estate, it's big money on one single transaction. And then listings have babies, and then you could turn it into 40, 50, 60 grand on the referrals. So we wanted to give you just a quick old jolt of positivity from two human beings that we're super positive to the best of our ability.
Absolutely. Eric, I want to finish with making a point, because I know some people are really struggling right now. And if you're listening right now and you think, yeah, but I'm struggling so bad, I can't be positive. Man, we all struggle. Eric, except Eric. Eric, you've never had a struggle, have you? We laugh. We go back and forth. Eric and I have walked through some pain, man. I'm talking like pull over on the side of the road and bawl like a baby pain. I've done it. Eric, have you done that before in your life?
Yeah.
Yep. We've all been there. So if you're there now and man, I was there for 8 months back in 2010. It wasn't that long ago, 14 years ago, man. It was painful. Meeting with bankruptcy lawyers, wasn't able to go bankrupt. I still had enough income where they wouldn't let me go bankrupt. They're like, sit around for a year and do nothing, then go bankrupt. I'm just not that kind of person. Wasn't going to do that. So I had to pay it all off years and years and years and years and years and years and years to pay it off. I finally did. It was not quick. It was not fun, but that really wasn't my pain. It was a personal situation my wife and I were going through in our marriage, really hard times. So if that's out there with you right now, I want you to know that is normal. There's trials and tribulations that rains on the just and the unjust. I get it. It wasn't fair. It wasn't right. And I'm not saying that's great, but let me tell you what, a buddy of mine's been struggling and we've been talking all weekend, and literally out of the blue, I just talked to him this. I go, how are you doing with the Lord, my man? That was my question text. And that text was sent about 2 hours ago, hour and 45 minutes ago. Here's his answer. I need help there too. When God takes your wife of 20 years in the most disturbing, painful fashion, and it's really difficult getting back. I cared for her, nourished her to health in 2015, and then things took a turn for the worse. I had to make a decision to put her on morphine drip at end of life, and the cancer took over her body. And so ever since then, he is not done well. He's just really, and I go, I'm so sorry, my brother. God loves you. There is healing there for you. Believe. I go, sad and depressed, bitter and angry is not for you. But he's been there. He's been sad. He's been depressed. He's been bitter. He's been angry. I believe he's been drinking. He kind of, God, in his mind, God turned his back on him. So he's going to turn his back on the Lord. So fast forward, where is he today? 7 years later, ulcer in his stomach, just drifting across America, really struggling. And that's a real thing. And he said he's only got two people in his life that even talk to him about God now, his nephew and myself. And so I'm all about this. I know my mission is for him. And so Eric and I's mission is for you. You're listening to this podcast for a reason. And so I want to encourage you. Beyond positivity, there's the big rocks in the jar, man. Family, finance, fitness, fun, and faith. Faith. Man, get back to church. Go grab the Holy Bible. I read the Bible. No, have you really read it? I opened it here and there. It doesn't make sense. What novel would you just open up and read chapter 17, then open it up to chapter 4 and go, I don't understand, because you start at chapter 1 and you kind of work it. It tells a story. The Bible actually tells a story. So if you don't want to read the Bible, don't read the Bible. But I'm telling you, there's peace, there's joy, there's happiness. It's easier to be positive when you have peace. If you have no peace, it's difficult to be positive. So maybe you got to go a step deeper and go, man, how do I find that peace? And go find yourself a good church. Go find men and women of faith that'll pray for you, lift you up, love you, so you can get that peace. And then from there, you can do the whole positive thing. And so, and you still go through moments in your life, but you got to be cognizant of it. You got to make a decision that you're moving forward, and then, nothing but net, man. Need a 10, got a 10. This is going in the hole, baby. And so, that's positive. It beats the hat out of negative and having an ulcer and really struggling. So anyways, we love you guys. We're for you guys. Eric, any final thoughts here?
Yeah, I just had a couple of quick thoughts. And, back when we had the mortgage meltdown in 2008 or 9, whatever the year that was, and I lost my home to short sale. Yep. And that was really painful. And I didn't create that as God turning his back on me. It was a really painful thing. Didn't understand it. Didn't know why I had to go through it. I went through a really painful divorce. Again, God wasn't turning his back on me. It just was really painful and went, for whatever reason, it went the way it went. I was homeless at one point. But it doesn't mean God's turning his back on us. It's just life happens that way. Sometimes we don't understand why we're going through what we're going through. Maybe we're being prepared for something greater, and we needed that mental toughness and that resiliency. So for any of you, if you do feel that God's turned his back on you, I encourage you that he hasn't, and you're just, for whatever reason, there's a plan here, and you might not understand it, and I don't always understand it, but I do my 100% best to stay positive, to keep moving forward. The number one job of leaders is to stay encouraged. So for all of you out there, we encourage you to stay encouraged. And it was wonderful to be with all of you today. As I always wrap up these calls with, I encourage you to listen to this podcast more than once, to put the best ideas that were shared with you into your subconscious, and also share this podcast with your team and with your organization so they can benefit from the inspiration that we shared with you today.
Awesome. I love it. By the way, if you don't have a Bible, like, how to read the Bible, I don't even have a Bible. Get a hold of me. Find me on wherever you got to find me, brentgove.com. There's a contact me button there. I will personally send you one. I'll send you one. In 1999, I was smuggling Bibles into China because it was illegal to have a Bible in China. Now they print more Bibles than any country in the world because, we can make money selling Bibles. So now the Bibles are all over China. But 99, I love it. And get yourself the Bible. Now, if you have one, read the New Testament, the story of Jesus Christ, the most powerful name in the world, and read the book of Matthew. Then do John, then do Mark and Luke. 4 eyewitness accounts of this man's life. When you say his name is the most powerful name in the world, people take notice. And so, have you ever really read the 4 accounts? Do your research. Read the book of Matthew, then read the book of John, then Mark and Luke. It's in the New Testament, 4 accounts of the life and times of Jesus Christ. Get that book. If you don't have one, I personally will send you one. Happy, no charge. No, I will do it. Reach out to me. You can find me at brentgove.com. Contact me and I'll get it to you. We love you. We're for you. Go live an awesome life and we'll see you. Thanks for being on today. Okay, so here's the deal. We have incredible information, video content on my YouTube channel. Go over there and make sure you subscribe. And it's vital that you ring the bell. If you ring that bell every time I put out new content, it's actually going to notify you and you can get the latest and greatest of what's happening at EXP. Now, don't forget to like me on Facebook so you can also get that content And then follow me on Instagram. We're hitting everybody high, low, and in between. We're trying to get the information out there so you can build big businesses, revenue share organizations. So go to YouTube right now. Please subscribe and ring that bell. Like me on Facebook and follow me on Instagram. We'll see you out there.